All these moments shaped me on my recent travels across the Isle. But to truly tell my story, we need to start somewhere else. Like many before me, my journey started out small, weak and starving. I was drawn to the beach by haunting calls in the air. I arrived to witness a fierce battle between another Carno and a Dilo. Acting on instinct, I moved to aid a fellow Carno. But in the Isle, loyalty is a fragile thing, and allies can become enemies in an instant. Without warning, the very Carno I sought to protect lunged at me with deadly intent. I hesitated, trying to de-escalate, but the attacker's resolve was unshakable. Realizing the danger I was in, I made a swift retreat into the forest, preparing myself for a counterattack. I knew that if I wanted to survive and thrive, I couldn't afford to be a pushover. So I summoned all my courage and charged back in, leading with a ram. And just like that, the tables had turned. With swift steps, I retreated once more into the safety of the forest, not to flee, but to set up my second strike. A powerful ram and 2 precise bites were enough to finish off the deceiving Carno. For the first time, I stood victorious. But the fight wasn't over yet. Just as I began tearing into the organs of the slain Carno, the second attacker returned, ready to finish what his companion had started. But this lone Dilo soon met the same fate. Moments later, both enemies lay defeated. The threat was finally over. But just as I was about to feast on the fallen, the server issued a warning. A restart was imminent, forcing me to log out before I could claim my prize. After returning, I needed to eat to grow quickly. I knew I was vulnerable, and after the encounter before, I wouldn't have minded a guardian by my side. After finishing the boar I had killed, I heard an adult Carno call out in the distance. This might just be what I had been hoping for. And indeed it was. A fully grown Carnotaurus named Dex kindly grouped up with me. I couldn't know it yet, but he would become a key part of my journey of survival. Soon, another young Carno joined us on our journey. Dex took the lead in hunting and made sure we were well fed, allowing us to grow strong and fast. After we had grown bigger and stronger, we set our sights on West Access, hoping to find new allies to grow our pack and take down larger prey. And so we set off. After our journey, we arrived at what seemed like empty fields, but little did we know what we would find there. Dex was the first to charge ahead, and what he found would change everything. Other Carnos. At first, they kept their distance, wary and unsure. But slowly, one by one, they drew closer. And in the heart of those empty fields, we found more than allies. We found a family. With many mouths to feed, we set our sights on a more populated region, West Rail access. There, we hoped to find enough prey to hunt and sustain the growing family we had become. Shortly after we arrived, I decided to move ahead and scout the area. And just as we had hoped, I spotted 2 adult ceratos making their way up the hill. I knew I wasn't even fully grown, and alone I wouldn't stand a chance against the 2 ceratos. But I tried to create a distraction, just long enough for the others to arrive. And in that crucial moment, when I needed him most, Dex emerged, a thunderous charge shaking the ground beneath him. Now, the hunt was on. The ceratos were in the wrong place at the wrong time. One of them fell, and though outnumbered, he fought with courage and heart. His body would not go to waste. The family was large, and the hunger was real. What we didn't know at the time was that this battle could change everything. One cerato had escaped, and he would live to tell the tale. The cerato's body drew in a raptor pack that was roaming nearby, hungry and bold. But this was our kill, and we defended it. With one of them dead, the raptors fled into the forest, the perfect chance for me to set up an ambush. I chased the raptor into the dense forest. In his panic, it wasn't my bite that ended him, but a slip from a cliff that sent him plunging into a deadly fall. With our hunger satisfied, we set our sights on South Plains, a well-known hotspot on the Isle. Distant cerato calls echoed from that direction, and curiosity led us forward. Night was beginning to fall when we spotted a cerato approaching over the hilltops. Without hesitation, we set up an ambush. All of us hid in the bushes, while one of the smaller members of the pack moved out to lure the cerato closer, just within striking range. The plan seemed to be working. Step by step, the Cerato drew closer. And once he was close enough, we all burst from the undergrowth in a coordinated charge. What we didn't realize was that this Cerato wasn't hunting alone, and their ambush mirrored our own. With our stamina depleted and some of our own badly injured, we made the decision to retreat. The Ceratos didn't give chase. They were too wounded themselves. For a while, I could still see them watching from the hilltop, but eventually they disappeared into the darkness, and we would never see them again. So, my friends, this brings us to the end of the video. Thanks for sticking around. And remember, my Carno still roams the Isle, so if you hear footsteps in the night, stay alert.